happening, y'all? Finally, it's Friday. Yep, Friday. I swear the older I get, the more I look forward to today during the beginning of the week. Yeah. I like the couple of days between work and more work. Yep. I I get to do my own thing on the weekends. Yep. What's happening, viewer? Good to see you. Yeah. So as I was in my, oh baby, what's happening? So as you can see, it was Happy Red Friday, R.E.D. That's remember everyone deployed, right? Yeah. So I'm headed home after a long work week. Actually, it weren't too bad this week. I stayed busy. I think today was my busiest day. It's the end of month and the end of week. I hate it when the end of the week and the end of the month land on the same day. That really sucks. Because I got to get all the last minute vehicles out the door. And they usually work me to death on that day. However, there were some that I wasn't able to get out today, and it's not my fault. I'm not going to worry about it. Because I don't have to. That's right. Hi, Punja. How are you today? Miss Garg? I'm good, thank you very much. It's good to see you. How's things over there in, where is it, India? Is that where you were from, India? How's India? How's things over there in India today? Miss Pooja. That's such a cool name. I love it. Anyway, so, as I was saying, there were some orders we didn't get out today, but that's because I have a piece of test equipment I need to test radios. They put CB radios in these trucks. I know you waited for me a lot. I've waited for you too. I was on Wednesday. I didn't see you on here. I sure was. You'll have to go back and review my videos. I think I even said hello to you on Wednesday. Yes, it's nice to meet you. Absolutely. So anyway, we put CB radios in these trucks for a railroad company. How are me and the family? Well, being the circumstances, I guess we're okay. I don't know. Ashley, how are you? Pooja, Ashley is my daughter. She's my moderator. She's on here too. I guess she's doing all right. Everybody's alive and well, except for my dad, but that's a whole different story. I'm not going to get into that today. But it's good to see you in there. And I'm very happy to talk with you. Well, I'm glad you're here. It's nice to know that people like to come back to see me blabber on about absolutely nothing. So anyway, there's a piece of equipment that I need in order to check what they call a standing wave, which is just a radio wave basically, and you got different megahertz that these radios operate at, and you have to make sure that your megahertz are right and that you don't have any what they call reflected power back into your radio, because it burns them up eventually if you have it and stuff like that. So I didn't have that piece of equipment this morning. Well, the boss man went out to a contractor, well, not a contractor, a CB radio shop to see if he could find the proper equipment for me to do this. And of course, he didn't succeed in doing that because, well, they don't have the radio equipment that we need either. So this is a special item that you have to order from a certain place that has to do with ham radios. Yes, Ashley, thank God it's Friday. I've been busy all week long. It's been a real pain in my rear. Did I eat food? Did I eat food when, Pusha? I had lunch. I sure did. I had, let's see, I had hot dogs. with chili today for lunch. It's good stuff. Yeah, I always eat, that's for sure. I mean, I'm a big fat guy. Well, I'm not fat, I'm fluffy. I don't like to be called fat, but I am fluffy. And yes, I ate pretty good lunch today. I had and some milk to go along with it. Yeah, sure did. So, let's see. Anyway, so I didn't get those 4 or 5 trucks done anyway, but I got like 15 others done. So that kind of makes the difference. You know, at the end of the month is when they decide whether they've reached their budget for the month or whatever. And it appears to me as if they did. So they're in good shape. Yes, Ashley, you're very skinny, but you got a high metabolism like I did when I was your age. Wait till you get to be about 40, your metabolism will slow down and you'll gain a lot of weight. I don't know, well, you'll end up short and fat like your mom. Did I say that out? I wasn't supposed to say that out loud. That was going on up here and it just fell out. I'm sorry. Anyway, yeah. But I did get like 15 other trucks done today. And you know, the trucks I'm talking about were really kind of ahead of schedule anyway, so we're able to move them back another couple of weeks. You know, you think that you know, I work for a multi-billion dollar corporation, you know, every year, because they have a string of car dealerships and, you know, stuff like that too. So, but you would think that, you know, they would make sure that I've got what I need to work with and something that I can use and know how to use. Well, about a year ago, I guess, we had a really, well, no, it wasn't even that long, probably 9 months ago, we had a rainstorm over the weekend, and the ceiling or the roof, before they fixed it, they put a brand new roof on our building anyway, but before that it leaked really bad in places, and it just so happened that I had my testers for the SWR power meters in a spot where, you know, it dripped water on them and they were submerged in water. And, well, you know, electronics and water don't go along too well. So it burned up my meter. And so the boss at that time, he's no longer with the company. The boss at that time, he got on the phone with the company called R.E.D, who does all of our, they're the ones that supply our equipment. And the piece that, you're 25, Pooja? Okay. I won't even tell you how old I am. I guess you could probably tell kind of how old I am by all this mess I got going on here. But anyway, so he ordered this piece of equipment because the one that I had, they don't make them anymore, and they're not in circulation. And the only way you can get them is like on Amazon and eBay. So the company's really funny about buying things off of eBay because, I guess because a lot of that stuff, you know, you buy somebody else's headache, you know. Me too skinny. You're too skinny, Pooja? What do you mean? I'm not sure what you mean by that. I mean, like, skinny is, I don't know. I think weight is overrated. Okay, so like, you know, women can look good thin, and they can look good with a little meat on their bones. It just kind of depends on who's looking at them, I guess, right? And you're my dad. What? You don't even know how old you are. You don't know how old I am? You should be ashamed of yourself, Ashley. A daughter should always know how old her daddy is. Anyway, Pooja, if I saw a picture of you, I could tell if you were skinny or not, but I don't know. You can't share pictures in my chat on YouTube, so I wouldn't know how to look at a picture of you anyway. It would be cool though to see, you know, to be able to put faces with names. Maybe if you were to look me up on, I don't know, Instagram or something. You might be able to post a photo there. Anyway, let's see. And I don't have links to other profiles with other social networks. I don't think on my YouTube account. I guess that's something I need to update or do. Maybe I'll do it eventually. But so anyway, he bought this newfangled piece of equipment, and it came in. It was like $5,000 for this thing, and I was all excited because, yay, man, I got something brand new to work with and all that. And come to find out, in order to hook it up to a CB radio, you had to have a set of adapters, you know, for the ends of the coax, which is the wire that plugs into the back of the radio and into our machine. So I had to wait on that. So he finally got that, and I looked up on YouTube and Google and tried to, you know, kind of get an idea of how to operate this thing, because there's no clear instructions that came with it like a booklet or anything that shows you, like, you know, how to go through and figure out how to use it. So I haven't learned how to use it. Now, we've had this piece of equipment in our shop for, I don't know, 9 months or so, and I'm still clueless. I have no idea how to operate this thing. So I've got meters at home. I run a base station CB radio out of my house. It's just like a hobby. It's nothing that I don't really do it all the time. Every once in a great while I'll talk to people. I usually don't do it unless the conditions are right anyway. And I know a lot of you don't understand what I'm talking about, and that's okay. In my basement, and I've got an amplifier to go with it. You know, I can talk. If I can hear you, I can talk to you on this thing. So anyway, I took one of my meters that checks what we check on these mobile radios to work, and I couldn't get it to adjust or to read right. So I told him, I said, look, man, I told him first thing this morning, I was like, hey man, I'm sorry to tell you this, but I'm not going to be able to test these radios today. And he goes, well, what do you mean? And I said, well, because the equipment that I have is not compatible to the setup on these radios, because they're much higher in the megahertz. So my meters only cover 0 through 28 megahertz. And what I needs to be able to test at 150 to 160 megahertz, which is, you know, that's way up there in the bands. Some of you may know what I'm talking about. If you don't, that's okay too. When does your birthday come? My birthday is next April. Anyway, my equipment that I have from home won't work because my radio doesn't talk on those frequencies. And I had to let him know this first thing this morning. So he got to scrambling and went to a CB shop, and he took the equipment that we already had, but he can't get it fixed because they're not allowed to mess with anything like that. So yes, my birthday is April 16th. So anyway, that's that. So I think they're finally going to get me the right thing now. I looked up a model, the digital meter that we had at work. I looked it up, and they can get one, you know, through this other company, and they can get, you know, a couple of models above and a couple of models below. So hopefully they'll buy this piece of equipment. I get these radios tested, you know, like next week. Excuse me. Sorry, y'all, working class. I know it's rude to do that while I'm driving and talking, but you know, I can't motorcycle. He must be a new motorcyclist. Yeah. I might go out on my motorcycle this weekend and get a nice little ride in. I don't know. I'm going to be riding a motorcycle in a funeral next week. Next Thursday, we're laying my dad to rest, and he's a veteran, U.S. Army, Vietnam vet, and he passed away last Saturday. And so the Patriot Guard, I ride with the Patriot Guard sometimes, which is a motorcycle organization that has both veterans and non-veterans that ride with, and they escort the families and the dead veterans or the deceased veterans to their final resting place. This is going to be Jefferson Barracks in St. Louis, Missouri, and so I'm going to be riding my motorcycle. Ask me something for me. What you want me to ask you, Pooja? Do you have a Facebook? Do you have a Facebook? I can look you up and see a picture. That would be cool. Yeah, like I said, I wish there was a way that I could see everybody. Like when you're talking to somebody, I'd like for there to be a way for me to be able to see people as I'm talking to them, like in a group setting, not like individually. That would be really cool. I don't know if YouTube has that. If they do, I don't know anything about it because I'm not like a premium user or anything. I'm just a redneck with a cell phone and yes, Facebook. Okay. And it's listed as Pooja Guard, right? Are you the only one, or am I going to have to search through like 50 of them? I used to be, it's really funny. Used to be when I was young, we had something called the yellow pages or white pages. And it was a phone book that had a yellow section, and that was all the businesses. And then it had the white section that had all the residents, for phone numbers and addresses and all that good stuff. And it used to be that there weren't like multiple people, you know what I mean, with the same name. Nowadays, I guess the population has boomed so far that, like, let's say, we'll just pick a name like Doug Smith, for instance, okay? So Doug Smith, there's like 5,000 of them, So if I wanted to go find Doug Smith on Facebook, I'd have to scroll and scroll and scroll and scroll until either I see a picture that reminds me of something they like, or if I know their face, I have to look for their face, or I have to ask them, hey, what's your profile photo, or whatever, you know what I mean? Pain in the ass, but that's how. You guys give me a second. I gotta drink some of my Mountain Dew Kickstart today. It's been a long day. Give me just a second. All right, sorry guys and ladies. Anyway, man, where was I at? I get scatterbrained sometimes. It was a really busy day today. My brain's tired. I'm gonna go home and rest my brain. I got a football game to watch tonight. The St. Louis Battlehawks are playing. Let's see, Pooja. You said you were 25, right? Am I correct, Pooja? You're 25? So have you ever been to the United States? That might be a good question. Tell me, if you've been to the United States, tell me where you visited. That would be something you could type in there while I'm rambling on about absolutely nothing. So anyway, the St. Louis Battlehawks are playing their final game of the season this year. The regular season anyway. And they're playing the DC Defenders. Now, the DC Defenders are one of the top contending teams and also didn't clinch a playoff spot. So they're going to play them this week, and then next week is a division championship where the two XFL teams are going to play, and then you've got another division game where the two best USFL teams are going to play. Even though it all falls under the United Football League, they've got two divisions, the USFL and then the XFL. So the two best from the XFL play and the two best from the USFL play. And then they decide who plays the championship game. So they're playing the DC Defenders tonight, and then next week, on the 8th, they're playing the Defenders again. They're playing them in DC tonight, and then next Saturday, I think it is Saturday or Sunday, is the 8th. They're going to be playing in St. Louis, and that'll be a real exciting game. I'd like to see the Battlehawks take it all, but I'm not really sure. I'm not sure if I'll be able to. Because the Battlehawks have had kind of an up and down season. We started off with a fairly decent quarterback, and then he got injured, and then they put in another quarterback, and he's carried the team this season. But I really think their second string quarterback, their current second string quarterback, is better than their backup, which is the starting quarterback now. Max Duggan's his name. He was some kind of hot shot, college, some Christian somewhere. But we had Manny, what was Manny's last name? Manny something or other. Number 5. There you go. When will I reach work? I've already worked today, Pooja. I'm on my way home. Sure am. So I've been working. I worked 6 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. Now I think, what time is it in India? Is it like, what, 9 o'clock there, 10 o'clock at night? I'm not really sure what the time difference is. I know that, like, the UK, right now in the UK, it's 9 o'clock p.m. Yeah, it's all right. Don't worry about it. No big deal. I know that, you're catching me, like, in the wee hours of the morning, or in the dark of the evening or something over there. Oh, you're now in America. Okay. Well, I thought you were still in India. I'm sorry. I had no idea. Well, that's pretty cool. Where are you in America? What state are you in? Okay, while she's answering that. No, America. Oh, you're not in America. You say America. I say America. Okay. All right, so you're in India then, right? I'm confused. All right, clear it up for me real quick. Are you in America or are you in India? Yes, you're an Indian girl. Okay. All right. Well, I know that. But where do you reside? Where do you live currently? Oh, you're an Indian girl, but you tell people you're in America? Is that, am I right or wrong? I'm confused here. I'm a little blonde. I should have been a blonde. My daughter's a blonde. I'm just joking, Ashley. Don't take that personally. You live here alone. Okay. All right. Well, I'm sorry. Why do you not have a boyfriend or a husband? Is that like, shouldn't you, are you going to school and you're a student, or what? You working in, okay, you're in America. Armenia. Oh, I'm sorry. No boyfriend, no husband, but you're in Armenia. Okay. You, oh, Lebowski. Thank you, MAGA Meat, whoever you are. Yeah, I do. I have that. I get that a lot. You know, people tell me I look like Dude Lebowski. What was the dude? I get that a lot. As a matter of fact, I went to a party a couple years ago. It was a fundraising party for a girl that's confined to a wheelchair, and I was walking through, and people were like, "Dude, hey, dude." And I was like, "No, that's no car." MAGA Meat Utters. Stephen Evangelist. Well, hello, Stephen. What's happening? No girlfriend, no wife. How about that, Mr. Evangelist? Are you one of those good evangelists, or are you one of the bad evangelists? Like, do you know who Jim and Tammy Faye Baker are, or Robert Deutsch, or Jimmy Swaggart, or Robert Tilton? Do you know who any of those people are? What am I doing? I'm driving home. Mega Meat, I'm driving home. Sure am. You're laughing for Steven. Yeah. I hear you. Well, there you go. Anyway, so the Battlehawks are playing tonight. It ought to be a good game because more than likely, even if they lose tonight, they can still win the championship next week. Either team's really, you know, good enough to do it. You can pop a beer, but you cannot beer what? Not beer a pop. Right? Well, no. Wait a minute. Because you ever hear somebody when they're going to the refrigerator, they'll say, "Hey, beer me." So then they get a beer, right? So you can beer a pop. I guess. Or something. I don't know. I'm just trying to keep the conversation going here. But that is a good observation anyway. And I keep forgetting that this intersection that I like to go is being worked on, of course, and it's closed. Alright, let me stop here for a minute. Hello. Yeah, interesting, yes. Very interesting. You're right, it's very interesting. So, let's see here. Mega Meat, where are you from? If you're... I wish my ex was as clean as your car. Yeah, this is a brand new car. It's a 2025 Chevy Equinox. And I've only had this car about 6 months. It just turned 5,000 miles yesterday. I don't drive it a whole lot. I've got a 2008 Chevy Trailblazer that I drive. More so than this one, but I had to park it this week because I realized that I was way overdue for my oil change, and that's not like me to let it go that long. California IA. Yeah, I hear you, California IA. That's a nice place to be from, but I wouldn't want to live there. How you like all that? How you like all that global warming, climate emergency bullshit going on out there? That was it Governor Newsom. What a piece of work that guy is, huh? Anyway, yeah, so I've got a 2008 Chevy Trailblazer as well, and I drive it pretty much on a regular basis back and forth to work. That truck has got 247,000 miles on it, but I've kept it well maintained. I've probably put, I don't know, $6,000 or $7,000 in it. You've got a 2 horsepower electric wheelchair. Okay. All right. Are you a disabled veteran, Mega? Disabled veteran, or are you just handicapped? I'm just asking because I don't know. You say you have a wheelchair. That's, it's not often people. There's a place here not far from where I live that has a bunch of disabled veterans, and they all drive the. Okay, taxes. wild but natural beauty. All right, slow down, slow down. I'm trying to read here. Not really in San Francisco, but close, so it don't get real crazy. Wheelchair I got from the shopping center. Okay. I hear you. I was in San Diego in 1992, April of 1992. I went into Camp Nimitz. If you know where Camp Nimitz is, you know that's a Naval Training Center in San Diego. I was there from April the 2nd, 2000. No, wait a minute. April 2nd, 2000. No. April 2nd, 1991. No, 92. Until April the 14th, 1992. I didn't get through boot camp anyway. During that time, they had just reopened Camp Nimitz for recruits. And so we were all new recruits coming out. I was in Company 17. And at that time, you know, what was his name? Bill Clinton was in office. And at that time, you know, they started all that don't ask, go tell bullshit. So, you know, when you're going into the Navy, the recruiters, you know, they grill you on a bunch of stuff. And they asked me a bunch of stupid questions about, you know, broken bones and had I ever been in a psychiatric hospital and blah, 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 blah. And, but I had just split up with a girl that I'd been with for quite a few years and had just started a new relationship, even though I guess I shouldn't have. You know, here we are. Well, let's see, that was 36 years ago, I guess. Was that 92 would be 32, 34 years ago. No, 33. Look, I'm not mathing very well. But anyway, so if I had known then what I know now about what my life had in store for me, you know, with being married to a complete psycho, and I'm sorry, Ashley, I don't mean to talk about your mother, but that's just the way it is. If I had known what I was going to go through for 20 years of my life, I would have just kept my mouth shut and said yes sir, no sir, and done my thing and gotten my time and been retired, and I'd be somewhere on a beach sipping margaritas with little, you know, umbrellas right now or something. Hey, you better stop. There's a stop sign there, Miss Bus Driver, lady. You know, bus drivers. Anyway, yeah, there's a bunch of bad shit going on in California. You weren't near the wildfires, were you, MAGA? MAGA. I can't really read this because I'm driving. I'm trying to drive too, but let me get pulled in my driveway here. You guys might lose me for a second. You grew up in San Diego and did JRTC, Navy, never got into the military. Okay. All right, let me put on my other glasses here. That's not much of an improvement. Well, yeah, it is. Wait a minute. One of the wildfires of Santa Cruz Mountains. Okay. All right. Where am I? Hey, Zeus. What's happening? This guy fingers cats. Oh, isn't that sweet? Well, I'm glad you finger cats. That's pretty sweet there. I don't know why you would want to finger a cat, but I'm sorry, Muhammad. You know, I thought you guys were like into goats or something. I don't know. Anyway. If you don't have anything, hey, Ashley, can you take care of that Jesus for me? Get rid of him, please. MAGA meat odors. Yeah, it's funny, isn't it? Yeah. I like how people come on here. They think they got a sense of humor. Hey, Ashley, are you still there? I'm not sure if my daughter's still on here or not. She's my moderator. Anyway. Yeah, I enjoyed California. It was nice. You know, it was sunny. I was right across the mountains from a place called Black's Beach. From what I understand, Black's Beach is like a nudist beach or something there. And I was across the hill from it. We couldn't see the beach at all. And we were right down the street from Miramar. I guess that's the Marine base. There's a military prison over there too. There was a couple of guys that got busted with some contraband in the barracks when I was at Camp Nimitz, and they were getting out. They were sending them home. They speech near La Jala. Yeah, that's what I hear anyway. I don't know. I don't know how true that is, but that's what I hear. But yeah, that was quite an experience. But I saw a lot of interesting people out there, and I didn't really get to really like go around the town of San Diego because when I was discharged from the Navy, they took us directly from the base over to the airport. Now I was supposed to take an early flight, and I don't remember why, but I ended up taking a different flight. Maybe they were overbooked or something and asked if people would volunteer to, stay for the later flight. So I did, and I thought I would use that time to go walk around. But man, the airport in San Diego in 1992 was freaking huge. It's probably even bigger now, I can imagine. But I was in a strange place too, so I wasn't really sure I wanted to go out. What state am I in? I'm in Missouri, MAGA. I'm over here. I'm over here in what they call flyover country. Um, I'm about 30 minutes from St. Louis, Missouri. Is where I'm at. I like it here pretty good. I don't really, well, I don't know, man, with with the tornadoes during the springtime, and then it hasn't really snowed here a whole lot, at least the past few years anyway. But now in 2010 is when I moved here, and I'm originally from the Carolinas, North Carolina, Charlotte area, Mint Hill, which is a little municipality right outside Charlotte. Well, it's a town. It's an incorporated city, or town, but it's like kind of like Mayberry. It's one of those little towns nobody talks about. Yeah, the prices out here are decent. Um, I paid $65,000 cash for my house, and it's a 2 bedroom, 1 bath, with a kitchen, a pretty decent living room, a pretty decent sized dining room. But it's only 785 square feet. But that's upstairs. I've got another probably 700 feet downstairs of finished basement space, and I can't tell people that my house is 1,100 square feet or something like that, or 1,400 or whatever it adds up to, because even though it's finished, we don't have a basement entrance, so I can't sell it with saying that there's any more footage than 785 square feet. It's a pretty nice little place. The neighborhood that I'm in is relatively quiet. I live in a little acre or two of land. Southern Missouri has a lot of land that's for sale right now. I think down around what do they call that? Indian River, I think is what it's called. Or down in like Union, Washington, Missouri. Around that area, I know there's a lot of land. When you start getting like close to the Lake of the Ozarks, or like down near Branson's kind of like Branson, I guess, is kind of like a mini Las Vegas, I guess. I've been there a couple of times. It's a pretty cool place to go. We go over there to a place called Silver Dollar City. But anyway, I've seen quite a bit of land, southeastern Missouri, or southwestern Missouri. I'm sorry, southwestern Missouri for sale. Because I've been trying to get out of St. Louis County. Now, St. Louis County and St. Louis City are two different municipalities, or two different territories. The St. Louis City has its own city limits. Now, St. Louis County kind of surrounds it, so it's like a city within a county. And You're a wizard, Harry. Okay. I guess. They call me Wizard. I got a VR thing, one of the masks, and I go by Wizard on there. So that's pretty interesting you should say that. But anyway, um, so St. Louis City is probably one of the most dangerous cities in America. I think it's listed in the top five. And I know for a couple of years it was like number one. It's another Democrat-ran shithole. And so what they tried a few years ago to do this, what they call Better Together, where the St. Louis City and the St. Louis County would merge. But the reason they wanted to do that was so that the crime rate per capita would go down. And even though things would still be expensive, and then, St. Louis County is run by a bunch of damn Democrats right now, as well as the city of St. Louis is ran by some alphabet person, lady person. If she's even a lady, I don't know if she is or not for sure, but they're wanting to merge anyway. So they're not leaving it up to the people like right in this area. They're leaving it up to the whole state to vote on this. Now, they voted on this back in 2020, I believe it was, and it got turned down unanimously. But there's enough illegal aliens now in our state, even though they're not supposed to be here, and we're not a sanctuary state. There's enough illegal aliens here that they may be able to sway that, and then the city-county merger will happen. I'm hoping it's not that way, because if it is, then the property taxes and everything are going to go up. I can feel it already. And then my house is probably going to lose value because nobody wants to live in St. Louis. There's been a lot of people move out of St. Louis into the county over the past few years. So I imagine that if there is a city-county merger, that a lot more people are going to be going across the river, which is St. Charles County, is over across the Missouri River off of Highway 70 or Interstate 70. I don't live far from Lambert Airport. You can probably look that up on a map. I can't tell you exactly where it is, but Lambert Airport's about 5 miles from my house, maybe 6, something like that. But anyway, so take off, guys. I'm done on my. It's humid and any snakes, spiders. Yeah, there's rattlesnakes in this area. But in some areas in Missouri there are rattlesnakes, copperheads. As far as I know, there are bears. There are coyotes. We have a lot of raccoons, of course. That's pretty much anywhere. It's not uncommon for me to walk out my door and see deer standing in my backyard, even though I'm in a what do they call it? A suburban area, I guess. I live in a neighborhood setting, and the deer have kind of gotten used to. They know where to go where people feed them, so my neighbors feed them. And it's not uncommon for me to see deer in my backyard from time to time. If you go into my videos, I'm not sure if you're subscribed to me or not. If you don't want to subscribe, that's fine, but I'd love to have you. There's videos of the deer in my backyard. I've got them set to music and all that good stuff. And I'm not sure what happened to my daughter. I guess she got bored with me or something, or maybe she lost her signal, or I lost mine and she got bored. But anyway, I'm going to take off. My videos usually only last about 30 minutes because I don't do it very often because people have a real short attention span these days. And if I get on here and I'm talking for 2 or 3 hours about absolutely nothing, people are going to get bored and they're not going to watch and they're not going to come back. So I try to limit it, to like days events and things like that. Yeah, she's probably doing something else right now, MAGA. But I do appreciate you stopping in. If you want to subscribe, I would appreciate it. I always give people shout outs. It doesn't matter if they subscribe or they like my video or none of that. I don't care about all that. Hi, Pooja. Pooja is one of my returning people. Yeah, Real decent to meet you as well, Maga. I'm sure we'll run it. I'm usually on about the same time of day when I do videos. That's going to be 2 p.m. my time. What is that like? Well, I'm sorry, 2:30 my time. What is that like? 12:30 your time? I think there's like a 2 hour difference from us to California. Yeah, something like that. But anyway, take it easy. Pooja, I'm going to look you up on Facebook. I don't know. I'm hoping maybe there's only one of you, but I'm going to look you up on Facebook. I may even send you a friend request. But you guys have a great day. Have a great weekend. I don't know if I'm going to do a video this weekend or not. Like I said, I got a football game to watch tomorrow. I need to mow my yard. I need to pull my motorcycle out of the building and take it for a run since I'm going to be riding in with the Patriot Guard next week. I got to get the oil changed in my 2008. Can you tell me name Facebook? Yes, it's the same. My name is the same as it is on my YouTube. Okay? My name is the same. It's Jim Earhart, just like it is, except there's no numbers after it. Okay, Pooja? All right, you guys take it easy. Peace. I'll talk to you again soon. And Pooja, I'll look you up on Facebook. Y'all have a good day. Have a great weekend. Peace.